Welcome to Corona Fall 2020, where we're dealing with a number of things both locally and globally. Fires in Santa Cruz County and beyond. Still dealing with the COVID virus, SARS-CoV-2, and certainly riots and social injustice is still rampant across the country. So my support goes out to anyone dealing with any or all of those things. What we're going to do here is start talking about our first body system. There's roughly 11 body systems that we'll talk about this semester. The first one is going to be the reproductive system. The goal of the reproductive system may vary depending on your perspective. If you're an evolutionary biologist, one may suggest it's just to pass on or merely to pass on genetic material from one generation to the next. For a lot of people, it's just so we can have these cute little babies. So let's talk about how the reproductive system works. We're going to talk about a number of things within the reproductive system, one of which are going to be reproductive organs of both females and males. So full disclosure, when I talk about the reproductive system, I am going to be showing images and using words that may be unappealing to certain individuals, potentially even traumatic. So keep that in mind. It is part of the reproductive system and is not meant to be offensive in any way, shape, or form. When we talk about reproductive organs, we reference primary reproductive organs, which are the gonads. In females, that would be represented by the ovaries. In males, those would be represented by the testes. Ovaries produce gametes, testes produce gametes, ovaries produce female gametes, and the testes produce male gametes. And we'll talk about gametes as we move forward. So primary sex organs produce gametes. Secondary sex organs, also referred to as internal and external genitalia. So let's talk about cells of the body, which do include gametes, which I talked about in the previous slide. There are two general types of cells in our body: gametes, which are sex cells, and somatic cells, which are body cells. This prefix soma means body, and somatic cells make up the overwhelmingly great majority of cells in our body. There are trillions of somatic cells in our body. There are a limited number of gametes, both in males and females. There's certainly still a lot, but not in the order of trillions like we find in somatic cells. So just to be clear, the cells of our heart, the cells of our brain, the cells of our GI tract, the cells of our skin, the cells of our bone, all of those are somatic cells. The only cells in our body that qualify as gametes are the eggs and the sperm cells. Egg cells are known as ova. Ova is plural for ovum. I should point out that gametes are produced by a form of cell division known as meiosis, whereas somatic cells are produced by a form of cell division known as mitosis. So this picture is trying to depict the relationship in size between an egg cell and a sperm cell, but it absolutely does it no justice. An egg cell is the largest cell in the human body, and it can be seen without a microscope, whereas a sperm cell is the smallest cell in the human body. When a sperm cell fertilizes an egg cell, it produces what's known as a zygote. To be clear, an egg is a single cell, a sperm is a single cell, and a zygote is a single cell as well. We're not going to go into the details of that cell biology, but I just want to make clear that when a sperm cell fertilizes an egg cell, it produces a zygote, which immediately commences dividing and continually dividing, eventually turning into an embryo, into a fetus, and then a cute chubby baby. Now here in this slide, we see a great depiction of a number of sperm cells trying to gain access to that one egg in hopes of fertilizing that egg. So in the subsequent videos, we're going to start talking about and going into more detail of the secondary sex organs.